Across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now Hall to start the drive. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. This defense for the Patriots, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go?
The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Here's Wilson throwing on 3rd and long. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18. On first down, Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. So into Pats territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. The Jets at 3 and 4 on the year coming into play. Well, they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Wilson. Touchdown! A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Takes it at the 7. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Jones and the Pats now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Meanwhile, Jones' throw there taken in by Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a New England 1st down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset.
Jones hit, and the ball's out. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And he takes it to the house. It's a fumble recovery for a Jet touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Well, not content with a first quarter lead, I guess. They're going to go onside kick. And whistle blown, a timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded right around the 8. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4 at the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Now Jones. Got a man. It's Tyquan Thornton. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. The Jets have Braxton Berrios back deep. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
On second down, a run with Hall. And he's got some space here. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Now it's Wilson. He finds Corey Davis. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Hall on to give up the middle. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
But they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
To throw is Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Wilson. And the Jets are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard. Here's Wilson. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Garrett Wilson with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Jets take a 3-touchdown lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because
the pass to Henry is intercepted. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Adrian Phillips. He's at the 40, the 20, 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown.
Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Here's Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
They'll give to Hall.
And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. Call it a gain of 4 there, but those yard markers a ways away here. 3rd down coming up.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them, and they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Harris. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
2nd down and goal. Jones.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line.
53 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And intercepted. Wilson's 3rd of the game. It's Kyler Duggar who picks it. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Right side, Thornton with it. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Throwing Jones.
Slant route, and he finds Thornton. And he's going to have a first down, and they get into field goal range here at the 29.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Jones now on first down.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. To throw again, Jones. He finds Aguilar over the middle.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. They'll look to throw again. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Well, still some climbing left to do to get back to even, but forcing a turnover and getting the field goal there, that's a small step toward erasing the early deficit.
Absolutely. That interception field goal, that's the beginning of what they hope will be several steps towards erasing that deficit and building a lead of their own by the time this game is over.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just one play.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick 6 really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And he's got it to make this a 21-17 game. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. At the line, ready to go.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, now Harris lost it. It's a fumble, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
I don't care what the scoreboard says, partner. You know who's winning this game right now?
Mother Nature?
Yes, indeed. Precipitation's winning in a big way. Sloppy, all these turnovers right now.
Yeah, well, this was the forecast. We got what was forecasted, and we've gotten a lot of turnovers.
Ready.
Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. That is caught inside the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They'll run with Hall. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
2nd and goal from the 1. Ball again. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Jets take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Zerline good with a PAT. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. Well, right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You're trailing by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
On 2nd and inches, Jones. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Looking to throw. Jones. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there. And it's 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Harris running straight ahead. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the run.
Oh, Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Wilson's throw here into the hands of Moore. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
He is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Wilson will throw again. Open man is Uzama. He's got room at the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, They almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll make it 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Matt Judon in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
That one good for only 6, and it leaves them with a 4th down. Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So the defense able to force the interception, and the offense working their way to field goal range and able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, and give them credit for that. They took the ball, maneuvered it downfield, and while they couldn't get exactly what they wanted, which was a touchdown, they did get 3 points out of it, so they paid off what the defense gave them. Both sides to be thrilled with that.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
First down, New England.
Three-quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Patriots 17.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
Straight ahead is Hall.
And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. There with a tackle, Dietrich Wise Jr. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Hall again on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
66 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game. Here's Hall again.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw here going to be caught by Wilson.
And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. A handoff for Hall. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
They go play action with Wilson. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32.
Dietrich Wise running through and dropping him for the sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson. And this is taken in at the 5. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. C.J. Uzomah. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Jets are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead.
Zerline connects on the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
This one fielded at the 5. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted ruins, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better?
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Bryce Hall.
And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Give to Hall running right.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson.
This pass out wide to Hall.
And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Here's the Jets punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And the Pats will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Strong. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.